On an ordinary morning just before dawn, a man named Eric Nelams walked outside his family home in Phoenix City, Alabama, and never walked back in alive. This is the story of his life, his murder, and the relentless women who refused to let him be forgotten.
Whispers rise in the dead of night, secrets buried in the fading light. The truth's a storm, it will not stay. It crashes through like Judgment Day. Chains will break where shadows lie. The southern wind, it's a battle cry. Sisters of the South, hear the call. We rise together, we stand tall. SOS, the truth will ignite. Justice burns, a beacon of light.
Hey guys, I'm Tiffany,
I'm Stephanie,
and we're Sisters of the South. We share real cases and stories about real people and their families who still deserve answers. We focus on missing persons, solved and unsolved cases, because here at Sisters of the South, we believe that every person matters. We're here to listen, share, and help keep these names from being forgotten. Thank you for joining us. Now let's get started.
So Eric Nelams was 32 years old. He was a devoted husband, father, brother, and veteran. He grew up in Columbus, Georgia. His family tells of a charismatic, loving man, someone who always showed up for them. His sister, Kathy Nelams, recalls how close they were, how they just kind of did life together.
That's sweet.
It is sweet, isn't it? I mean, it makes you think of all your siblings, right? Like you don't always get along, but you just kind of reconcile and just keep moving on, you know? And I think that's really sweet. And his mother, Annie, remembers him as someone who gave his shirt off his back to anyone who would need it. So Eric had dreams of furthering his education. He took classes at DeVry University in Atlanta. He also served in the U.S. Army, and this is a detail his family stresses that they do not want anyone to overlook. On September 26, 2003, in the early morning hours around 5:30 a.m., Eric stepped out of his house in Phoenix City to go to work. His wife and children were inside, unaware of the horror that would unfold. He was shot inside his carport. Multiple gunshot wounds. He was pronounced dead at the scene. No robbery, no signs of forced entry. His belongings remained untouched. The killers, whoever they were, had to know his routine, when he would emerge and where.
Okay, so this reminds me of Elizabeth Barraza.
Yes, absolutely. I mean,
Just wild.
Gender roles are reversed. And she's a lady who lived in the Tomball area, Tomball, Texas, and in her driveway. She was out doing a garage sale and literally got gunned down in her driveway.
Nothing was stolen.
Nothing.
And that's a garage sale. I mean, they've got their belongings out on the driveway.
Right. And so what is the motive?
Right.
Right. And that's probably the hardest thing for a family to absorb, is like, why? What was the intention? I mean, there should never be a reason for murder, but exactly what was the motive? And that's got to be devastating and heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Then you got to be wondering who's watching you and that closely too.
Exactly. And that's scary because that could happen to anyone.
Yeah.
And again, who are these people?
Exactly.
That's the scary part.
Yes. But guys, before we move on with the story, we're going to take a short break and give a little shout out to our friends and favorite vendors over at SoFly. SoFly. Here we go. All right, guys, we are back. Now let's continue with the story.
Okay, so some statements suggest that they were waiting, that they actually timed him, and this is what his mother would later say. So from the start, the investigation struggled. Multiple people were questioned, but no one was arrested. Investigators ruled out robbery very early on because nothing was stolen.
Right.
The family believes that the perpetrator or perpetrators were someone who knew Eric, someone close enough to know his schedule and home address. According to local reports, police considered multiple suspects, but the trail went cold. Over the years, the Nelams family has pushed to reopen or re-examine this case. In 2004, then Governor Bob Riley offered a reward of $5,000 for information. And I think $5,000 is really, that's a conservative number. Because that's not going to change anybody's life if they narc out somebody
And putting themselves in
danger.
Yeah.
I mean, I would want to move and get the heck out of Dodge, and $5,000 isn't a lot of money to be able to kind of start your
It's
life.
not really
over,
going to do
right?
anything. I mean, I understand, but
Yeah, it's just, I just thought that was kind of a low amount. It should have been significantly higher
right.
to get the information you're actually needing to solve this case. Today, local sources report that as much as $15,000 is now being offered in reward money. So, it just sounds like in the beginning, they started out with such a low amount and they finally raised it. But by then, who knows? Maybe the people moved out of town. Maybe other people moved. Just if they had knowledge of this case, they weren't around, and they just said, you know what, forget it.
Well, yeah,
It's
it's
not
been
even
a
worth it.
long time.
Yeah, it's been a very long time. So the family and advocates have placed a billboard near Highway 280 in Phoenix City to keep the case in public view. Kathy Nelams, Eric's sister, continues to advocate for answers. She often states that only someone who truly knew Eric could have orchestrated this.
I agree.
Annie, Nellam's mother, lives with this grief daily. She believes someone within Eric's circle played a role. And she says friends are not the friends we think they are. So, and I agree. Sometimes who you think is your friend is your biggest enemy. They're your frenemy, right? And how sad that is, because she's probably looking at everybody. She's probably gone through
Oh, and you
every
don't know
person.
if the person you're speaking with
Yes,
is the person.
And they could be acting all devastated and upset, and they're actually the person who did it.
Yeah.
So I would
I wouldn't trust anyone.
I wouldn't
at that
trust
point.
anyone. No.
Yeah.
That would be horrible, So together they launched a change.org petition urging the Alabama Attorney General to reopen this case. They've also pushed for the Phoenix City Police to re-examine old evidence with fresh eyes. The billboard near the scene of the crime is a visual reminder to the community that Eric's life and death still matter. And I agree, his face needs to be out there so everybody knows, what happened to him. And if maybe they saw something and they didn't know that's who he was. The only problem is, as time goes on, the longer this case is unsolved, sometimes people don't remember things, or they don't know that what they saw was important. Or maybe they don't even remember that was the exact moment when this occurred. So it's just really hard. But we need to push Eric's face out there for his family. Hopefully this will be solved. Maybe they'll find some DNA somewhere or whatever to solve this case. So despite decades passing, many critical questions still remain. Who had knowledge of Eric's schedule, routine, and habits? Did someone hire others or act alone? Were there clues overlooked in the early investigation? And I mean, if this case didn't get solved, and who knows, was there cameras? I'm not sure. But if this case didn't get solved, I'm pretty sure that things were overlooked.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, how deep did they really go?
Well, and that's what I'm wondering. How many people did they talk to?
I mean, did they check cameras at convenience stores? And I know this was like 2003, but there were cameras back then. They weren't great,
Right.
but at least they could get maybe vehicle color somewhat, maybe one or two letters or numbers of the license plate, something.
Okay, did he live in a subdivision or
Yes.
okay, and no one saw anything?
Not, nothing.
That's so crazy. Well, I mean,
No one came forward.
right.
Yeah. So, also has technology, forensics, DNA, digital progressed enough to reopen any new leads? And why has no one come forward at least with credible information? And that's the thing. No one come forward. So it makes you wonder. I mean, it must have been if you're smart and you're going to do something this crazy, it's probably best to keep your circle small. Usually someone will cave. So more than likely it was one person.
Right.
And they probably didn't share the information. Kind of like with Elizabeth Barraza. Unfortunately, they have camera footage of what
Oh,
happened to
yeah.
her. The vehicle, it was a Nissan Frontier. They have the color down pat. They have all of that. Again, I don't know if they have this for him or if they have really bad camera footage. I don't know. But sometimes even with that, they can't solve the case. And that's the saddest part. And so this person is still out there, running around free. And who knows if they've done it to anyone else or if they will do it to anyone else. So the house remains in a quiet cul-de-sac in the neighborhood unchanged, but the pain still lingers. If you live in the Columbus, Phoenix City region, if you knew Eric or people around him, if you ever heard rumors, now is the time to speak. Even the smallest bit of information may crack this case wide open. So yeah, if you have any information, please come forward. You can contact the Phoenix City Police Department at 334-448-2800 or Central Alabama Crime Stoppers, which is a 24-hour tip line at 334-215-7867.
All right, guys, that's all we have for today. Thanks for listening. If you can, please share this story. We'll keep showing up, and we hope you do too. But until next time, please remember to
see the good and stay imperfectly perfect.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. God bless.
Bye.
Bye.